Of course, all of these things, including the Second Continental Congress, all of these things are going to culminate, shots fired. Lexington and Concord. On April 18, 1775, British troops are going to land at Concord, and Paul Revere is going to allegedly make his famous "The British are coming, the British are coming" speech on horseback. People like to dispute that. I don't really care one way or the other. All I know is that he was one of the people responsible for alerting the Patriots that the war was officially on. 70 British soldiers are going to die. And while it looked like at the beginning that the Patriots were going to have their way, and just so you remember that the Patriots are the colonists who want to break away from Britain, and the Loyalists are those colonists who want to stay with the crown or with the British monarchy under King George. This war was not going to be won by either side overnight. There are many battles. I am not going to go through every single battle. We'll be talking more about some of the battles in the classroom. For the sake of time, I really want to focus on a couple that I know you will most likely see on the region. And one of them is the Battle of Saratoga. The Battle of Saratoga is often called the turning point of the American Revolution, and here's why. Remember the French and Indian War? Remember how the Brits essentially kicked France out of the colonies, or out of the North American colonies, as far as the 13 colonies that they had possession of. France is always looking to give a little dig to Great Britain. And so, they were only too happy to join up with anyone who is an enemy of Great Britain. And so they're going to offer to help the Patriots in defeating Great Britain. They're going to provide more supplies, money, and troops, something that the Patriots desperately need. These guys are everyday guys. They're farmers. They're not professional military men. They do not all come from wealthy families with unlimited bank accounts. So all of the things that the French are able to provide are going to help them. They also provided their own navy to counteract Britain's. And let me tell you something. That is huge, because Great Britain at this time is not only the number one power on the planet, they also have the number one navy on the planet. Okay, something that Napoleon's going to find out the hard way several decades down the road. So we needed something in the water to counteract that power. And France is going to give us a boost there. In addition to France, Spain and the Netherlands are also going to join forces and help the Patriots as well. So this is some added firepower for the Patriots to defeat Britain. Another important battle, of course, this is the battle that essentially ends the Revolutionary War, and it's the Battle of Yorktown. American and French forces are just absolutely pounding down British strongholds. And remember, this is where thinking about Saratoga is so important. It's the French Navy that's going to block Great Britain's Cornwallis' support. And it's going to, essentially, it's a blockade. They're blocked. They can't really do anything. And at that point, Great Britain has to make some serious decisions, and Cornwallis wisely decides it's time to surrender. So on October 19, 1781, Cornwallis surrenders. Treaty of Paris is going to end. And this is Treaty of Paris 1781. Do not confuse this Treaty of Paris with the Treaty of Paris for the French and Indian War. With this Treaty of Paris, this is the treaty that essentially ends the American Revolution. The northern border between the U.S. and British Canada is set from New England to the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River, which of course we talked about at the beginning of the school year, or the beginning of the semester, it's the boundary between the new United States and the Spanish territory to the west. Because remember, we only have 13 colonies here. We do not have what we now look at as the great United States of America. We don't have most of that territory at this point. And then, of course, the Treaty of Paris is the first document that officially recognizes the independence of the United States of America. We are officially known as an independent country. So, that's it. That's all I'm going to go through. Just a few Regent exam quick preps here. Just remember, some of these topics tend to show up on Regent, so I always like to put them at the end of the slides here, just to keep, just for your benefit, so that you can keep those things in mind. Albany Plan of Union, Proclamation of 1763, the Join or Die political cartoon, which is technically the first political cartoon in American history. That's actually the last slide. I'll get to that in a second. The Impact of Common Sense and the Declaration of Independence, and then, of course, the Battle of Saratoga. Keep those things in mind. You have your study guides for the topic. It's key to your textbook, so you should already know these things even before you get to this slide. Then I want to go to the next slide, because this is your assignment for tonight, in addition to everything else that I gave you. You have one question. Sorry about that, live calls. But as I was saying before the phone rang, you have one question. To your right, you see the Join or Die image. This is the first political cartoon, or considered by most historians to be the first political cartoon in American history. This was drawn by Benjamin Franklin, and it says Join or Die. Please do not pay attention to the comma, as punctuation rules were a little bit different. So please be kind in that regard. You have one question, and that is, what is a central theme of this political cartoon? What is it that Benjamin Franklin is trying to convey through this drawing? And then you must support your answer with a reasonable interpretation of the cartoon. You can record your answer in your study guide. I have a section there in that little booklet for you. And then you should be ready to discuss this next time we meet. This is a very important question, and you may actually see this very slide on your Regent in June. So I always like to include it. It's very straightforward, and pay attention to the drawing. Leave no stone unturned. Don't overlook anything. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it helped you out. God bless. Get some sleep. And remember, chickens and chocolate never ever mix.